she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
A firestorm has erupted on The View, with conservative star Karoline Leavitt clashing with hosts Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. What started as a political discussion quickly spiraled into a public relations nightmare, sparking heated debates about gender, politics, and the power of words. How did this fiery moment unfold, and what does it mean for the show's future? The moment that truly ignited the firestorm on The View occurred when Joy Behar, known for her bold and often controversial statements, made a remark about Karoline Leavitt's appointment as White House press secretary. As the discussion turned to Leavitt's youth and sudden rise in politics, Behar casually commented, "Well, let's be honest, she probably got that position because of how she looks." The comment, dismissive and sexist in tone, struck a nerve. Many viewers were appalled, as they felt it reduced Leavitt's accomplishment to nothing more than her physical appearance, completely overshadowing her credentials and achievements. Behar's remarks seemed to reinforce the tired and harmful stereotype that women in politics are often judged more for their looks than their intellect or professional abilities.
Actually outraged ladies of The View, they never fail to bring copious amounts of bile and hate, and one of their targets of late is White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. Here is Whoopi Goldberg saying she only got the job due to wokeness. What?
To make matters worse, Whoopi Goldberg, co-host, and often seen as a voice of reason on the show, chimed in with her own insensitive comment. She added, "She's young and attractive. Yes, that's probably part of it. But, she's also got the right connections." This only further fueled the fire, with many feeling that both hosts were undermining Leavitt's political success. For Karoline, the comments were more than just a passing remark. It was an affront to her hard work and determination. The 27-year-old quickly responded on social media, stating, "It's disappointing that in 2023, a woman's political career would be reduced to her appearance, especially by other women. My work speaks for itself, and I'll continue to rise on the strength of my ideas, not my looks." The public backlash was swift, with many fans and political commentators condemning Behar and Goldberg for their tone-deaf comments, especially given The View's image as a platform for empowering women.
To this president and this administration is how well you can do your job, and the American people agree with that sentiment. So it's about competence, skill, and merit. And so the president is focused on ensuring that the most competent individuals, the best and the brightest in this country, are in positions in this federal government.
The fallout from Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg's comments didn't stop with online outrage. It escalated into legal action. Karoline Leavitt, having had enough of the sexist remarks that undermined her political career, filed a defamation lawsuit against both hosts. She claimed their comments had seriously damaged her professional reputation and were harmful to her future in politics. The lawsuit, reportedly worth millions, sent shockwaves through the media world. As the case gained attention, tension backstage at The View was thick. Producers scrambled to manage the situation, knowing that the show's credibility was on the line. In a desperate attempt to salvage their reputations, Behar and Goldberg went on air to issue public apologies. Behar, visibly emotional, her voice trembling, said, "I deeply regret the words I said. They were thoughtless, and I never intended to hurt anyone. It was a mistake, and I'm sorry if I caused any harm to Karoline or anyone else." Goldberg, visibly trying to hold back emotion, added, "I want to sincerely apologize. What I said was never meant to discredit Karoline. I deeply regret my comments, and I take full responsibility. They were not intended to be hurtful, and I regret that they were taken that way." However, the sincerity of their apologies was widely questioned. Many viewers felt the tearful display was more about protecting their jobs than genuine remorse. "They're sorry they got caught," one Twitter user commented, capturing the public's skepticism. Despite the hosts' attempts at damage control, the controversy only fueled Leavitt's rise. Her name, already well known in conservative circles, was now everywhere. She wasn't backing down, and the national spotlight had only intensified her political presence. Social media played a huge role in amplifying the drama. Fans of Leavitt quickly mobilized, rallying behind her and calling out Behar and Goldberg for their insensitive remarks. Leavitt has achieved more at 27 than most people do in their entire careers, one commenter wrote, highlighting the impressive credentials that Behar and Goldberg seem to have ignored. Instead of focusing on her resume, the hosts had reduced her to a stereotype, a move that many fans saw as not only sexist, but politically biased. Other users pointed out how the hosts of The View had undermined a young woman who had fought her way to the top of a highly competitive field. The backlash was intense. Justice for Karoline started trending, and in a matter of days, Leavitt had become the face of a broader conversation about the challenges young women face when trying to break into politics and public life. But what made this even more intriguing was that the very nature of the controversy seemed to bolster Leavitt's career. With every new headline, her profile grew. Some even suggested that she could leverage the situation to build her own media platform, possibly even a podcast aimed at young professionals in politics. This wasn't just a PR disaster for The View. It was a golden opportunity for Leavitt. Many of Leavitt's supporters have expressed their disbelief at how the hosts, especially Behar, could be so dismissive of a woman's accomplishments, especially when they've spent years preaching about women's empowerment. I've been watching The View for years, but this is a low point. Joy Behar should know better, one viewer tweeted. Another chimed in. It's sad to see The View stoop to this level. Karoline Leavitt is a rising star, and they're reducing her to a stereotype. On the flip side, there are those who support the hosts, claiming that the media is blowing things out of proportion. Some argue that Behar and Goldberg's comments were just part of their tough love approach to politics. But those voices are growing quieter by the day as more and more fans speak out against the show's actions. As Karoline Leavitt's profile soared, tensions on The View intensified. Joy Behar, notorious for her outspoken opinions, reportedly refused to take full responsibility for her remarks. Instead, she blamed the media for exaggerating the situation. Her inability to genuinely apologize only worsened the internal friction, with her colleagues becoming increasingly frustrated by her stance. Whoopi Goldberg wasn't exempt from criticism either. Her dismissive comments about wokeness further strained relations on the show, especially with newer co-hosts like Alyssa Farah Griffin. Farah, a former Trump aide, had a more moderate approach and believed the situation should have been handled more thoughtfully. She advocated for a respectful tone, but her concerns went largely ignored by Behar and Goldberg. The growing rift among the hosts was palpable, with sources claiming that the atmosphere on set had become toxic. The division within the group threatened the show's cohesiveness, leaving many to wonder if The View could continue its usual dynamic, with its hosts at odds, struggling to recover from the fallout of their own actions. As the lawsuit progresses, there are whispers that The View might face cancellation due to the financial burden of the lawsuit and the damage to its public image. If the controversy continues to escalate, we could be witnessing the end of an era for the long-running show. But while The View scrambles to save itself, Karoline Leavitt continues to rise. Her poised, no-nonsense approach to handling the controversy has earned her respect from supporters across the political spectrum. She's proving that she's not just a political figure. She's a force to be reckoned with. Her response to the personal attacks has been nothing short of classy, further solidifying her as a strong advocate for young women in politics. And let's be real, Leavitt isn't just sitting back and waiting for the dust to settle. Sources have hinted that she's quietly consulting with legal and media experts to make sure her story is told the way she wants it to be heard. Could this be the beginning of a new chapter for her? Could Karoline Leavitt be poised to launch her own media initiative and become a political commentator in her own right? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, she's not backing down. The big question now is whether The View can recover from this scandal, or if it's the beginning of the end. The lawsuit, internal tensions, and public backlash are taking their toll. If the hosts can't set aside their differences and address the issues, we could be seeing the downfall of one of TV's most iconic talk shows. As for Karoline Leavitt, this controversy might just propel her into the spotlight. With growing support from young professionals, she's positioning herself as a political force. Will this legal battle lead to a new media empire for her? Only time will tell. What do you think? Can The View survive this? Or is it time for a new era in daytime TV? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates.